Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It's oh my gosh, it's the end of the week. Week 1 of college football is coming up. We had some action yesterday, which was interesting. Some interesting games. We got to see Mizzou absolutely clobber Central Arkansas, and might have been a little bit of Mizzou may have some weaknesses, but they still overall looked not half bad considering they were down a quarterback, and they wanted to split time between a couple of guys last night, and one of them went down and the other one excelled. Had a really good game. So alongside me today, you see him right there, the man on the screen, the man of the hour, Stephen Hamner from QB Spotlight. Man, it's been too long. How you doing?
I know, dude. Doing great. I can't believe we're back here talking football now, dude. It's a tradition now.
That had to be. I've been doing this for a minute now, on YouTube, exclusively on YouTube. That had to be the longest off season I have ever experienced.
Yeah, I mean it's because the spring doesn't really matter anymore. Like the spring practices, and like there's no signing day in February really, so it's kind of different. But yeah, I noticed it too.
There was a time when the February signing period was such a big deal. And, it's still like the final signing period. Then you had the, of course, the second, the spring transfer portal window, which was also pretty eventful across college football. But, and for Arkansas fans, I guess we can't be too upset because baseball did get us quite a way. We went pretty far into Omaha. Some could even argue Arkansas might have been the second best team in that tournament in the College World Series. At minimum, they were the third best team, and they helped extend the summer a little bit for Hog fans. Hoping they can do that again, only go a little further into June next season. All right. We're not here to talk baseball. We're not here to talk about the off season. By God, Stephen, it's time. We have to break down the Arkansas Razorbacks from your perspective. You are asked about frequently. I've been asked, where's Stephen? What's going on? We need to get him on. We need to know his thoughts on Taylen Green and this offense year 2 under Petrino. So I know you've probably digested a ton of footage from a year ago for the Razorbacks. Tell me, what's one thing going into this year you want to see? And I know there's probably multiple things, but the one thing that stands out to you that Taylen Green has to get nailed down this year. He's got it. If he does this, then it's going to change our minds about what could happen in 2025.
Yeah, I think the easy answer is find consistency, but then it's like, how do you find that consistency? I think it comes down to being more on top of things as it relates to like the short-term passing, a down-to-down basis. Like you see these huge plays. Like if we look at Texas A&M, that one long touchdown pass to Tesla, then the rest of the game was kind of just like hit or miss, right? So I think it's playing within the system and being a good down-to-down quarterback, keeping drives alive, not relying on the big plays. Because when it comes to big play potential, and I'm sure we'll get into this, but the ability to hit a home run, he's like a home run hitter with his legs and his arm. But we need to be an average hitter too, right? So that's kind of what I relate it to, being able to run the offense, be more consistent on a down-to-down basis, and keep drives alive without it having to be a home run. A single is perfect, especially when it's 3rd and 5, and you don't need a home run. So that's like the overall takeaway from using a baseball analogy, because you talk baseball, and I won't go too much into the Arkansas baseball loss against my LSU Tigers, but
I thought you were going to bring that up.
But that's why I look at Taylen. It's like if he can take those steps forward, if he doesn't even make one improvement in like the big passing game, but he can take steps forward in the smaller attention to detail aspect of being a quarterback, he can really take that next step.
He last year, and I'm looking at his numbers. I know you and I are both. I know you do the film part of it, but you also like the numbers aspect of it too. He something that kind of stood out a little bit when blitzed last year, which was about 34% of his dropbacks. He still completed north of right at about 54% of his passes. 8 touchdowns, 4 picks. Of course, with a clean pocket, most quarterbacks should have a pretty decent number. He was knocking on the door of 70% with 11 touchdowns and 5 picks. PFF loves his they like his clean pocket numbers quite a bit, rating him at 90.2, and then his not blitzed passing numbers also 83.3. And I want to point this out. Yes, for anyone who's new here, I am definitely skeptical of some of PFF's grading, but there's certainly, when you watch him, some of these numbers don't really surprise you. But his one of the things they were working on, Steven, this offseason, they're using the VR headsets. I don't know, and I've been meaning to talk to you about that. If you know anything about that, if you can kind of like maybe – obviously, this should help his game. I've seen a little bit of the footage from Hogs Plus where he's saying it's helping him see the field better. Do you have any experience at all with VR, or what do you know about it as far as helping the quarterback play?
Yeah, that's a good question. I know some of the guys we trained that are in college. Some of their colleges do use that. I don't know what the I don't know what the transfer effect really is, I guess. It can probably definitely be helpful. Like the more reps you get in theory, the better you are at something. But it's not like a true rep. So I guess I don't have a great answer. I guess if I had to cop out, it'd be TBD, right? To be determined.
To be determined.
Yeah. But anything to get more reps it's not going to hurt you, right? So we'll see. Yeah, not a good answer. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I didn't tell you about it before we were going live. It just was something that kind of popped into my head right as I hit the live button. I was like, I really need to ask him about the VR.
Some colleges do that. Like we have a few guys at some higher end D1s, and they do have an aspect or a component to that. So the visual side is there is a place and a role for it. I just don't know the exact importance of it.
Well, it seems like in Arkansas, this isn't their first time to deal with VR. It's been in their the baseball, the pitchers use it or have used it. And I know it's different software. It's like different, it's a different program altogether, but it's just as far as VR itself, the tech isn't brand new to the University of Arkansas. And I think Brandon Allen's senior season they used VR. And I could be mistaken about that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know all the the logistics of how they rolled that out here. He mentioned in one of the videos, he mentioned CJ Daniels using it and then talking to him about it and how much it helped his game.
I remember seeing Kirk Cousins on the quarterback show on Netflix on season 1. I remember seeing him use that. He was like sitting in his car, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember seeing him have a component. So, I mean, if a quarterback making that amount of money in the NFL is doing it, it's probably worth exploring.
Absolutely. Anything you can do to get the upper hand.
Yeah.
And especially in a Petrino offense. So
totally.
Let me really quick. Let's backtrack to. Did you watch what games did you watch yesterday? Did you watch Missouri at all?
Just the rough highlights. Not much. No real takeaways for me. Congratulations. The kid did really good against a team that's not so great. So
yeah.
And it does suck that the other quarterback, Sam Horn, got hurt. Hopefully it's not too serious, but it's a bummer. I think it was like his first carry too, or something like that.
Yeah, it was like he only played like one snap.
Yeah. No, I didn't watch any. I didn't watch any Mizzou games besides just the highlights.
I only watched it. Well, I was actually not gonna lie. I had the game on. I had the YouTube, the 4-way where you have like you got different games up, And I was playing a video game at the same time and watching the game, and but I did watch Pribula. Is that how you pronounce the last name?
Pribula, yep.
To be fair, I had the game on mute, but I'm not gonna lie. I thought Horn was going to be the guy. But he looked really good. The Penn State quarterback looked really good. And yeah, you're right. It's UCA, not a good team. This is not any way to measure team, but there were certainly some things. Their line of scrimmage play was interesting last night. I thought UCA actually made a few. They broke through a couple times,
I mean, I guess you would. Winning 61-0 is better than winning 30-0. Against a team like that. If you're a Mizzou fan, so.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not really sweating too much.
Yeah.
We can't take too much away. It's week 1.
Yep.
And it's UCA. So there's people on both sides of extreme last night. I saw people saying, oh, no, Mizzou's trash now. They're going to be awful because of UCA having a few good moments on defense. Yeah. And then on the other extreme, there's Mizzou's going to go 10-2, 11-1. So it's like, hold on, guys. Play the year out.
If people remember – Oregon last year, Oregon almost lost to Idaho, an FCS school, in like week 1 or 2, and things turned out okay for them going deep in the playoffs. So it's hard to take week 1 with a ton of, take it with a grain of salt, right? Not a ton of salt.
Yeah. Well, what is it? So Arkansas 2025.
Yeah.
Steven, you and I both know, and we've talked about it a little bit on, just through either texting or Marco Polo, the Marco Polo app, as I've need to mention that it's like a video messaging app. Think of it like a text message, but it's videoing back and forth. Tim and I and a mutual friend of ours are in this group. We Marco Polo quite frequently when it's football season for sure.
Right. Yeah.
But the potential of this offense, Steven, let's not even look at the schedule for just a second.
Yep.
Like just from a power standpoint, like, if you're a Razorback fan, are you feeling pretty damn confident about some of the pieces they have on offense, and how are they going to be better than last year? You think, or is it just another to be determined TBD?
Yeah, TBD is the cop out, but let's give some content. So I think like outside looking in, I would be like cautiously and skeptically optimistic-ish, if that makes sense. Again, I don't know the details of the offensive line play, the receiving, the running backs. You hopefully get better O-line play. The thing that I'm kind of thinking about is why was Tesla not very good or used last year, and now he's killing it in preseason. So that kind of confuses me a little bit. But if I'm just talking about Taylen Green, if I'm just looking at Taylen Green, year 2 of an offense, he has all the quote unquote hard stuff taken care of. He can beat anyone with his legs, with his arm. If he can just elevate his game a little bit more, if he can elevate his game in the small details and being a true quarterback, then I do think there is a place where Arkansas has a better season than maybe what the people in Vegas think they're going to have. Like you have 4 or 5 teams that I think are really similar as far as it relates to the quarterback position, whether it's Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway, Marcel Reed at A&M. You have all these guys who started last year, and every fan base is thinking, okay, our guy's taking the next step. Our guy's going to help our team go from 8-4 to 10-2 or whatever it is. But not every guy can take the next step. Not every school can go and improve by a few games. So someone's getting left out. So I think if you believe that Green's the more likely guy to take that step, I think he can absolutely, and Arkansas can absolutely eclipse whatever Vegas thinks they're going to do. But for me, it comes back to how do I relate Green against Reed, against some of these other guys, even Nussmeier, against some of these guys who their fan bases expect and think they're going to take a next step. So I think it depends not just on Arkansas, but depends on the other teams as well.
Yeah, I mean, we for sure got to take in. I mean, you got Alabama, A&M. All right, we know what to expect. I mean, what to expect. I don't think anyone thought Arkansas was going to do what they did a year ago to UAPB and score on every freaking drive. I don't think anyone laid that bet down in Vegas. But then they also went on to have offensively a productive year as far as just like total offense, but they couldn't score, right? I think and the more, because Steven, I'm going to ask you what you have Arkansas at, by the way. So
sure,
if you haven't already,
I got it.
Okay, so I'm going to get to that in a second. Let me lay down my reasoning to why, if we're going to look at this from like a perspective that Arkansas, maybe everyone's wrong about Arkansas in 2025. If I'm going to look at it from that perspective, it's got to be a couple of things. Well, several things actually, because it's got to be a pretty big leap because the over-under is 5.5 games, right? Is there potential for Arkansas to win 7+? Like maybe that's where this mindset should be. Obviously, like you said, the schedule, you have to consider it. It is an incredibly tough schedule. On the road, those road games are just, wow. Like
Tough.
nobody wants to deal with that. But again, is there a possibility like Ole Miss, are they going to be as good as they were a year ago? I'm in the camp that they're going to be good. Ole Miss is going to be a good football team. But you know what stood out to me about Ole Miss a year ago? They didn't score 30 or more points in an SEC game outside of Arkansas.
Interesting.
Only one time did they score 30 points. Go look it up. And Arkansas had a collapse in that game. It was deer in headlights. It was shocking to be that bad at home anywhere, but especially at home. But yeah, I mean, all year. In fact, against P4, they only scored. To be fair, they only played Wake Forest in their non-con. Their non-con schedule last year was an absolute joke. They won that game at Wake Forest 40-6. But they beat South Carolina 27-3. They lost to Kentucky to open up SEC play 20-17. They did go to LSU and gave them a hell of a game. Lost that in overtime, but they only scored 26 points. 26 against Oklahoma, 28 against Georgia. Impressive win. No one's debating that, but it was at home. They only scored 17 at Florida, and they only scored 26 points at home in the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. So, like, maybe we are – like, Dart was great. Don't get me wrong, man. Anyone who throws for 515 yards in a single damn game, hello, Arkansas, that's saying something. Yeah. But Dart's not there, and I think there's some questions. I just don't know about this new quarterback. And again, this was already an offense that only scored 30 points in one game in conference play once all year, and it was against Arkansas. But not just that, though. For Arkansas side of it, and again, that's just one team. For Arkansas side of it, bigger, better. I think they're bigger and better on the offensive line. I think they somehow managed to upgrade the tight end room as long as Platt can stay healthy. And then they brought in receivers that really, not only a guy who knows the offense and played under Petrino once before, but these guys kind of mirror, when you're talking about speed and athleticism, what he had in 2010 and 2011 at Arkansas. Like this feels like he has his guys now in this offense. Yep. Those weren't his guys last year. Tesla was not his guy. Armstrong was not his guy, even though Armstrong had a really good year. Broden, not his guy. Go down the list. This is his offense. It's tailor-made, or these players are tailor-made, hopefully, for this offense. We don't know if this is all going to translate onto the field or not. And again, this is me saying, are we wrong about 25? Are the outside voices, are they wrong? It sounds like maybe there's a possibility here they could be, and maybe we're not looking at this correctly.
No, I would echo that. Like, there's more toss-up games, I think, than, when you go through the schedule and you write WL. I think there's more toss-up games than at least there's more toss-up games. Now, does Arkansas win those games? Remain to be seen, right? But there's more toss-up games. Like you mentioned, Ole Miss. That's absolutely, I think, you lean Ole Miss, but there's no reason why a second-year starting quarterback in the system can't win against the guy who's going to be making his fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever game start. And so I think Green does have to take steps. So like last year, he had 8 passing touchdowns against SEC opponents, and 5 of them were against Mississippi State. Like, you need a bit more consistency. But for me, I remember, like, if I ask you this, the Taylen Green we saw against Tennessee before he hurt his leg, those throws that he made, if he does that every single game next year, they're going to be really tough to beat. That's not even including his running ability. Like, those throws he made, talking to people way smarter than me against Tennessee, were next level NFL style throws. So now, can you just get that over a length of a season? If you can get that over a length of a season, then yeah, sign me up over Ole Miss. Sign me up over A&M at home. Like, are you a big believer in Marshall or Reed? Is Reed going to take this huge step? Now obviously it's a team game. It's not just a quarterback. But if I'm just looking quarterback perspective, and I put so much stock on the quarterback, if Green takes that step, there's no reason why he can't carry the team. That's not saying I'm calling them to be really good, but from the point of being optimistic, then there's plenty of reasons to be optimistic.
Well, there's definitely, and then there's the defensive side of things too, where you have to take into consideration, right? Like, for every positive thing we have to say, right? Because I'm told I'm either too negative or I'm a sunshine pumper, one of the two. And it's like, well, When you look at this
Yeah.
team, that might be that's probably an accurate way for us to look at it, anyways, because the defense, there's so many questions. And now we know with them moving Blackstock over to interior defensive tackle or interior D line, like, okay, they're not as thick there. And the more Pittman started to talk about the defensive line, I liked what they had and what I thought they had in the first rotating, like the 4 guys that are going to rotate. It was good, right? And then they lose one of those guys and they're like, oh hell, we need to move somebody over. And I was like, wait, hold on. Are you telling me that none of the other younger guys could step into a rotating role with the 2s? Like, none of those guys are good to go? Not that that's shocking, true freshmen and whatnot, but it definitely drew some major, like, huge red flags for me. So it also tells you, though, another thing, when you got to move a guy like that, they feel really confident about the offensive line. I don't know if you know this, but Pittman is on record as saying he feels like they're 9 to 10 deep on the offensive line. I've never heard him say that since he's been here. I've never, as far as I can, and maybe I'm forgetting, back in 21 when they had a halfway decent offensive line, maybe they were that deep then, but off the top of my head, I do not recall him ever saying that. And that's such a confidence boost. But again, you still have to look back on the other side, the defense.
That and, like, also it's like, okay, it's great, there's excitement that he's saying this, but what did the past 3 to 4 years actually show us? And that's I don't have the answer because I don't keep up with the program as well as you do, obviously. But there's so many things to take in consideration. I think as long as you're not extreme on one end or the other, you have a chance of probably being right this year.
You said 50-50 or games that were 50-50 kind of coin flip games, right? Talking about the schedule.
Yep.
Here's what I have.
Okay.
And everyone here already knows my prediction.
Okay.
I say everyone. We did a prediction on Monday night with Courtney Mims, formerly of Pig Trail Nation from Ask Mike, but she is no longer with them. But we're going to keep track of her because Courtney is a part of this Tusk Talk with Ty community, as is Stephen Hamner, QB Spotlight.
Nice. Let's go.
But she had, I think if I remember right, chat will have to remind me, I think she had Arkansas at 6-6 maybe, or maybe it was 5-7. I can't remember off the top of my head, as I was trying to keep an eye on chat, keep an eye on my notes, and also try to manage the show. Tim, who helps with Monday Night Lights, he's the co-host of Monday Night Lights along with Travis Ford. I think he had Arkansas at 6-6. Here I am. Alabama A&M W, Arkansas State W. I'm actually with you on Ole Miss. It's a 50-50 coin flip with me leaning towards Ole Miss.
Yep.
On the road at Memphis, I've got Arkansas winning that. Notre Dame as a loss at Tennessee because they got a lot of pieces left over there. That coaching staff, I think they are pissed about what happened in Fayetteville, and they're going to be ready for the Razorbacks. Don't know what to make of the quarterback swap just yet there, but I've got that as a 50-50 game, but I think Tennessee's got it. A&M in Fayetteville, Auburn in Fayetteville, both 50-50 games. I've got Arkansas winning them both.
Nice.
Mississippi State a W, I think, and I know it's real easy to slam dunk on Mississippi State right now, but I'm telling people I think that offense is going to be better. What they did, if you're paying attention, like they made some moves in the offseason. They grabbed some pieces that are actually pretty attractive to what they do. I'm not saying they're going to get more wins, but I think Mississippi State could be a problem, and I could see them maybe getting an upset or winning at least a game or two they're not supposed to win. But I like Arkansas winning this one in Fayetteville. At LSU and Texas, those to me are losses. I'm just so big on Nuss. I don't care. I know it's like in that offense. I'm not saying he's a top 3 draft pick. In that offense, he just 4,000 yards. On top of just watching him play, he passes the eye test in that offense. And then Missouri, this is the next 50-50 game for me. I've got Arkansas winning. So I've got Arkansas officially at 7-5.
Nice. I've got the exact same record, actually. I have it in my little Phil Steele magazine. I don't have the exact notes, but yeah, I have them beat Memphis. I think I have them losing to Ole Miss for the simple fact I took Lane Kiffin over Sam Pittman as far as who's going to outcoach who. I had them beating A&M at home. I have a lot of A&M fans that follow the QB Spotlight channel, and being in Texas, we talk a ton. I'm just not super high on Reed, not in a bad way, or maybe I'm higher on Green than Reed. Maybe I'm putting too much stock into that. That their team is legit though. For A&M, like they got so much talent, right?
Yeah.
But going to Arkansas, I did have them beating A&M. I'm like, how many years can A&M just keep somehow finding a way to win, right? Like,
right?
Yeah. Tennessee was coin flip. I think I took Tennessee, LSU, and Texas. I think are both going to be really, really good. And I have y'all beating Mizzou as well. Have y'all beat Mississippi State too? I agree with that. I think Mississippi State is going to be bad, but Blake Shapen, if he's healthy this year, he was the quarterback that got hurt last year.
Yes,
he can make some plays. Former Baylor kid, he can make some plays. So if he's healthy, year 2 of the offense, they're gonna bite someone, right? Hopefully it's not Arkansas. But yeah, I have them at 7-5. Which when I was going through it, I was really thinking like 5-7. Like I was like, I'm going to end up at 5-7 or something.
Yeah.
But I just gave the coin flips to Arkansas largely because maybe I'm buying into the high ceiling of Taylen Green. You know, I'm a quarterback junkie. I get sucked in easily. If I see someone make a big throw or run with the ball, I get really happy and I forget about the small stuff, right? So, but that's just me. That's a quarterback lover. So, yeah. So we'll see. I guess we could be wrong, right, or somewhere in between. So.
Let's throw the TBD out of the window here for a second. Oh, and by the way, shout out to King Command with a $50 freaking super chat.
Awesome.
That's the largest super chat I've had probably since our friend Tim probably came in here and dropped a big one. Appreciate that. He says we have the best backup quarterback in the country.
Let's talk about him for a minute, right?
Let's do that. KJ Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got to watch much of him. I got to see him for a day in spring camp. And it's hard to take. You talk about a grain of salt. But he is everyone I've talked to who has had eyes on him, or who have talked to people who have also had eyes on him, and just listening to what Pittman said this at the SEC media days when he said that they have essentially, this is not verbatim, more or less that they have their next guy is KJ Jackson. He's another runner. He's not a small quarterback. He's like 6'3", 6'4".
Yep.
He can move. I don't think I'm not gonna say he's the best backup in the world here in the country, but give him a year, give him a full season and off season to bake in the oven a little bit.
Yep.
He could be a problem.
Best case scenario, I think, is if Arkansas can go 7+ wins, right? Let's call it 7+. Green plays well, no injuries. KJ is able to be a true backup and learn and grow, and almost like the Arch Manning route, like be a backup and learn and grow, and then next year be the guy. I think that's the best, as opposed to getting thrown in too early. That'd probably be best case scenario for everyone involved. Maybe they are really bad and they bench Taylen Green and KJ gets in. So,
yeah, he needs snaps. He needs snaps in a bad way. Like I'm with you. This is the Pete Carroll way of coaching. When he was at USC, he didn't believe in redshirting players. He wanted to play them. He would burn their red shirts. Not that he didn't have red shirts. He did. I'm sure he had plenty. But I was listening to him interview somewhere, and this has been a long time ago, but he made the reference of something about, the players that had been redshirted and playing them instead. And that is the best. That's where you learn, man. It's full speed, bro. In game time. This is it. Yep. That's when I learned the most. And of course I didn't play. You played at a far higher level than I ever did. And being a center, every snap was pivotal. Learning, your steps, which direction you're stepping, not, locking down zone blocking and, just figuring it out. It all happens in live action. You can only do so much in a room with a highlight, with the DVD play. Well, when we played, it was VHS tape. They'd pop in and, here's what you did wrong here. You learn on the field in game time when you're playing against an actual opponent. Yeah. So
I get a bunch of playing time tomorrow then, right? Like hopefully
yes. Yep. That is the question. We do an XP question for people who are in our Discord. And that is the question. How many pass attempts? Just tell me what you think. Or maybe KJ Jackson plays a whole damn half. Maybe he doesn't play at all. Maybe someone thinks Alabama A&M. Maybe they think Arkansas is just that bad this year, and it's going to be a close game. But you guys tell me after the live show is over, tell me how many snaps or how many. I'm trying to think how to word this because I was in the middle of setting this up, and I was like, oh, I forgot the XP question. Let's go on pass attempts. How many pass attempts does KJ Jackson get versus Alabama A&M? I could have done total yardage too, which, whatever.
Yeah.
What was I going to say before we
I knew I bet it in. Yeah.
Segued into KJ Jackson? What was our?
We just talked about. Oh, you were erasing the TBD. We were talking about. Yeah. You erasing the TBD.
Erasing the TBD.
Yeah.
So we already kind of talked about it for a second, but is there room here? And maybe again, I know it's so hard to get around that schedule. I get that. But is this offense capable of maybe because again, when Petrino was here the first time, that defense under Willie Robinson, you could have had whoever a defense coordinator, didn't matter. It was Petrino's team from the top down. That's not the case now. He's just the coordinator. But their defenses were bend don't break. Their defenses were not good. They maybe had a clutch sack here or there. They had some capable defensive linemen. They had some capable edge rushers, couple of decent linebackers during that time. But they weren't deep at any position in the secondary, in the linebacker, at defensive line when Petrino was here. It was all offensive focused. So we all know the defense is probably not maybe they're better, maybe they're not, but let's set that aside for a second. Is the offense capable of overshadowing all those issues this year? Again, going back to, are we just wrong about 25? We're looking at it wrong. Maybe the defense can be just as bad as they were a year ago. Is the offense capable of overshadowing their deficiencies?
Yeah, I think absolutely one, but then I think it's like, to what extent are they capable of let's say you have a bad defense and you should lose 5 games, but you have such a good offense that you end up winning 8 games. So you like, sorry, I don't know how to turn off my computer. I don't know if you hear that. But let's say the offense is good to make up for 3 games, and then you go from 5-7 to 8-4, right? Does that kind of make sense? So how good can the offense make up? Can it make it up against the LSUs and the Texas? Probably not. Can it make it up against Texas A&M? Yeah, right, because their offense is kind of sketchy too. So I think without saying TBD, I think it depends on the team you're playing and depends on the offense. So I would say not against Texas, not against LSU, but probably against everyone else on your schedule. If your offense can hit whatever their potential and ceiling is, I think it could mask that. I'm not saying those chances are high or that will happen, but for the sake of the question, yeah, I think for probably 9 to 10 teams that you're playing, yeah.
And that's where I think we could. Listen, their back's against the wall here a little bit, right? Let's be real. If they have a repeat of what happened a couple of years ago, where you only win 4 games,
oh gosh, yeah,
dude, he's gone. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no, well, we're waiting on Hunter Yurachek to be fired or whatever. No. He's gone.
Yeah,
that means you've lost games you shouldn't have lost. But going back to what you said about, how many, and that's the thing, how many for sure losses are on the schedule? And I'm, again, you kind of already touched on it. I think there's maybe 3.
Same.
Notre Dame, Texas, and LSU.
Yep.
That to me is those are the only for sure. I'm going to put my money on those games right now. Of course, that narrative could change as the weeks,
Yeah.
You always let's not forget who the head coach is with your Tigers. Like, let's not forget that guy. I don't know what to make of Kelly. I really don't. Man, I like what they're doing on offense with Nuss. But I just I think those are the only 3, Steven. Those are the only 3 games where I'm like, no, I just don't see them winning. Everything else feels like it's up for grabs.
I think because I know Notre Dame's breaking in a new quarterback, but I just trust so much in Marcus Freeman in that defense. Like that
yes.
Trust so much in that. But that's where, like, what if Joe Yagler does not hit for Tennessee? What if he's not very good? Is Tennessee going to be really good? I don't know. Maybe, probably still pretty good, but are they going to be 9, 10 wins? Or are they going to be more 7 or 8 wins? Same with A&M. They go 8-4 every single year, right? So does Marshall Reed help them get 9 to 10? Are they going to stay at 8? Can they slip up and get 7? Like, I don't know about Marshall Reed. You got Mississippi State, obviously. But then even with Austin Simmons, what if he isn't as good as all these all these media people say he's going to be. And I think he's going to be pretty good for the record. And I trust Lane Kiffin. But there's absolutely a possibility and a pathway in a world where he's not very good. So those are 3 games. Those are 3 tough SEC games right there that I think are coin flipping.
Yeah. And by the way, neither Steven or I are saying that Arkansas is going 9-3. Neither one of us are saying. I'm not even saying 8-4.
Yeah.
But like you said, I kind of trust, because I know turnovers is something they've really focused on. I know back in the spring they weren't really asked a lot about it, again, that I can recall. Not that it didn't come up, but I know that from the folks, from what I saw and from the folks I've talked with, turnovers were something they were absolutely working on, maybe more so than they ever had in the spring camp. And then fall camp comes along, and it's kind of one of the narratives. It's one of the I love talking about pillars of conversation. There's always the summer off-season pillars of conversation. Then what are the in-season, the fall camp pillars of conversation? In offensive line, one of them, and turnovers. The offense not putting the damn ball. You know how many times they put the ball how many times they fumbled the ball this year?
How many times?
Do you want to take a guess?
Oh, man. I know Green was double digits himself.
Yeah.
19?
Oh, man. 30 times.
Oh, my word.
They put the ball on the field. Now, I haven't gotten that confirmed, but this was mentioned. I think this came maybe originally from the Chuck and Bo show, which is branded by Razorback fans. I'm not saying it, but Razorback fans kind of brand that as a pro Razorback propaganda radio show, because they got the voice of the Razorbacks. Chuck Barrett is on there, and then Bo Mattingly runs it, and he runs Hogs Plus, which has a deal with the University of Arkansas. So they call it a propaganda show, where they never criticize the U of A. And if that's where that came from, then I'm sorry, it's got to be true, because if it's true that these guys are just all pro Razorback, which they are. I mean, I do listen to them. They rarely do you hear them critique the Razorbacks, which is a fair assessment. If that show is saying it, and again, it may not have even been from them, it might have been from somewhere else, but I think this is legit. 30 times they put the ball in the field. So it had to be, so it's a part of that offseason pillar of conversation, right? So I think they're going to work on that. I think that's going to be fixed. The offensive line is fixed. Again, I think they have receivers that are molded more to the shape of what the Petrino offense is. And I'm going to say something. I asked a few weeks ago, one of the post-live, I think it was a post-live XP comment question was, are they going to exceed their total yardage and points from a year ago, even with how much more difficult the schedule is? And I think it will. I think they're going to outscore what they did a year ago, and I think they're going to have close to as many yards per game as they had, which they finished, I think, top 12 in the country. I think they're about to explode on offense. Mike Washington, oh my gosh. I don't know, man. I've said before, I'm kind of drinking that Kool-Aid with this running back, this transfer they got. So there's more to be excited about this year. It's just the questions on defense and the schedule are like the only or like the two things. What do you know? A tough SEC schedule. Yeah. That's a big surprise.
I would say something else with Green too is like, does it seem like his sack, when he takes a sack, it's like 15, 20 yard sacks, right? Like, like have a 3-yard loss every once in a while. Yeah, but those are drive killers. That's what I mean. It's like the small details. Like, I don't know what the record is or where I would even find this, but like without sacks, he had 820 something yards. Including sacks, he had like 600 yards on the ground or something like that. So that's 220 something yards just off of sacks.
Sacks, yeah. ESPN says 236. So you're right there. You're right there. That's insane.
Like it seems pretty crazy. Like those are such drive killers. But yeah, I feel like every time I see him having a sack, he's like running just straight backwards.
Backwards.
And he gets tripped up. Yeah.
It's like watching people play EA. I don't know if you've played EA College Football 2-6, but I'll watch them play and they'll drop their quarterback back. I mean, you talk about a 15-step drop back. It's like they're just going on. They look like a horse going backwards. And that's what it's kind of what it seems like Green does, only it's him scrambling, trying to make things happen. Brian Fraser with a $10 super chat. I'm going into the season optimistic. Definitely not getting my hopes up. I got Razorback PTSD.
Fair.
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, I've since we've been doing stuff together the past 3 or 4 years, I've really got to know the fan base, and just I wear y'all's emotions, and yeah, it's unreal. Like when the Oklahoma State game last year was what was prime Razorback PTSD, right? Like just being up by so much. Yeah, so hopefully it's not the case for y'all. Hopefully I'll surprise people. But
if they start off 4-0, oh my goodness. You talk about the hype. First off, let's say you go 3-1 and you play a close game to Ole Miss. Let's say you lose 35-30 or 35-31, and it's maybe some nonsense that happens at the end of the game, whatever, kind of typical Arkansas loss, And then you go on the road and you beat Memphis, and then you've got Notre Dame, and you're 3-1. You're ranked, maybe you're probably ranked. Assuming again you can't get blown out by Ole Miss, and you got to blow out everybody else. It just can't look like a game to anybody else. And you've got Notre Dame coming to town, which I think is going to happen. I think Arkansas is going to be 3-1 in this game. Whether they're ranked or not, I have no clue. I really don't know. These ranks, who cares, right? But it's going to be a crazy atmosphere.
Is A&M
4-0?
Is A&M after Notre Dame? Is that the game?
A&M is after Tennessee's after Notre Dame.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's tough.
That's tough, and it's at Tennessee.
Yeah, man, that'd be great to see A&M lose.
Oh,
yeah. I don't think any A&M fans are watching, so they won't get mad at me.
I was gonna say you better be. You better be careful, bro.
They enjoy the QB spotlight stuff, so I don't want to make them too mad. But man, yeah, you got to be an A&M fan to root for A&M. Is all I'll say.
Well, I think you and I are in the same boat, that there's a good possibility here that a lot of people could be wrong about Arkansas in 25, and really who we're talking about are the outside, the outside stuff. You and I have them at 7-5. That's a pretty optimistic take.
Agreed.
So because everyone else, again, the over/under's 5, even though the football power index or whatever at ESPN has them at 6. I would love for them to be 4-0 with Notre Dame coming to town, but there's just so many coin flip games where anything can happen, and that's the nature of the beast, man.
Yeah.
You really could be a legit solid football team and only go 6-6,
or even 5-7, which is I don't even. But we've been a bit more optimistic about winning all these coin flip games. Every other A&M YouTube channels and Tennessee channels and Ole Miss, they're all flipping Arkansas as a loss. Like, what if they get all the flips? So why play the game? Yeah,
I don't watch a lot of. I mean, I'm going to be real. I get asked all the time if I watch other Razorback shows. I really only listen to the radio because I take my kids to school in the morning. So I've got on the radio, or I'll have it streaming on YouTube. And I like Chuck and Bo in the morning because they do bring on some really killer guests. But every once in a while, I will hop on listening to maybe a Tennessee channel or a A&M channel or Texas channel. None of them fear Arkansas.
Yeah,
none of them.
None.
One, I think it was Texas. I think it was Texas. They were like, we're going to kill them. Like we're going to beat them 20 plus easy. And this is going to be it's going to be an absolute, stomping for the Razorbacks. So you gotta earn the respect. And there's a reason why that talk is there, because Arkansas hasn't done enough. But year 2 with Green, with Petrino, with hopefully an improved offensive line, that appears to be the way. Arkansas, I think I'm with you. I think they're capable of surprising people, proving a lot of people wrong. Hey, appreciate everyone for being here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Steven, I don't know what kind of timeline you're on.
I got a few minutes.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, if anyone wanted to, I haven't been asked about any call-ins, but I didn't know if anyone wanted to call in or not. I'm probably going to stay live even as if Steven's got to go. So if anyone wants to call in, give me a projection or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll turn it into some XP. But don't forget, that's the XP question post live. How many pass attempts from KJ Jackson?
Do you have a number?
I was thinking about this the other day. There's so many unknowns. They got a year one coach at Alabama A&M. I don't think this is going to be UAPB 2.0. I don't think Arkansas is going to just absolutely. I don't think they're going to score on every drive. I could see him maybe getting in about 10 throws, maybe 8 to 10 throws.
Yeah. How many did the backup have last year? Was it Malachi Singleton?
Put in Malachi. That's right.
He was the talk of time for a while last year.
Oh man, and didn't even win the starting job this year with with his new school. Oh yeah, man,
the kid that left Purdue, because he's at Purdue, right? Singleton.
Yeah.
The kid that left Purdue, went to North Carolina, then came back to Purdue after he didn't win the North Carolina job in the spring, and he ended up taking the job.
I liked Malachi. I really did, and I thought, and again, let's be real, there is just such a thing as system quarterbacks. Yep. And I kind of think Taylen Green can operate. I'm going to be real with you. And here's a good question for you. Do you think he can operate the veer and shoot?
Oh gosh, yes.
Could you? It's what I was thinking. Could you imagine him in that offense?
I would say his accuracy improves. The accuracy has to improve. But another version of RG3 type deal? Just like maybe that's not fair to say, but.
I think he's kind of tailor-made for the veer and shoot, but he's also a capable passing quarterback. He's a capable guy in this pro style kind of pro style offense that Petrino runs.
So Singleton and Jackson had a combined 14 attempts last year against UAPB. Yeah. So I'm going to say 8 attempts.
You're going to say 8. Okay.
I'll say 8.
I'll say 10. You're saying 8. Okay.
I'll say 8. Yep.
So I tell you what, if you win, I'll Venmo you I'll send you like $20 or
something. Send me a cigar.
Well, dude, I'm out.
Wow.
I'm out. I cut back on smoking them, and what's sad is I had someone send me a one of these bad boys back here to put my cigars in, and when that was sent to me, I told my kids, because they're like, "You can't smoke cigars anymore, Dad. It's bad for you." I was like, "Damn it." So I dialed back on smoking cigars. I've got this thing back here with no cigars in it. I feel bad. But a Patreon member or a Discord member sent me that. Shout out to, it was a number of them. It was John Hawes, I think Austin, and then Dante Marino. Nice. Dante Marine. Sorry, I'm brain fart. Sent me that. That was so kind of them. That was so cool. I've had a number of really cool things sent to me. I got a Razorback chrome helmet that I can't put on screen because the sponsorship logo. That, by the way, that's why we can't have this stuff on screen anymore. I'm not even supposed to have the Rams and the Celtic stuff either, but you know what? I don't talk to their front offices, so
interesting.
I've had to talk with the legal team at the U of A a couple of times, so I made sure to get all the Razorback stuff out. Oh, here we go. T-Dub, look who's in the house. I believe our defense will once again be bottom 5 of the SEC, which means if Arkansas offense is not top 3 in the SEC, we'll be 5-7. If our D can be top 10, we'll go 8-4. There, I said it. Still want Sam out. That is not a surprising take from our friend Tim.
Not wrong though. He's not wrong. You got to prevent points. You got to prevent points. I mean, if Arkansas averages more, you got to score more than you give up. So if you give up more than you score, it doesn't matter how good the offense is. He's got a point.
They have again, the bend don't break. We've won with that before. Yep. I think the difference now, though, is that the offenses and the caliber of coaching pedigree is the best it's ever been in football, and that's crazy to think, considering all the great coaches they've had come through all the years. But who would have thought Ole Miss would be? And I hate to say it, that Ole Miss would be this good. Who would have thought that Tennessee would get to where they got? Of course, Iamaliava hightailed it out of town, but. It's just a different world. And yet, here's the other thing, Steven. I think this league is going to be full of 7 and 8 win teams this year, with maybe a couple of double-digit teams at the top.
Maybe 2. Maybe 2, yeah.
Who do you got? Who do you have at the top?
Texas, Georgia.
Okay. I think LSU.
I think I did put LSU with double digits, but there's some bias in there, so I take that into consideration.
Yeah, that's fair. At least you owned up to it.
Like anytime I go through a calendar, like right now, and I have someone 11-1 or 12-0, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't bet on this team because I'm not looking at it very fair.
Sean Tarr, interesting name. I've seen them come through though. No one knows what this team will be, which is fair. This is all hyperbole, and
we're just talking content, right? Like
it's talking content. But that's why I was happy when I was after you yesterday. I was texting, yeah, dude, come on, let's make this work. Let's do this today. Whenever you're available. Defense could be good, offense could be bad, vice versa. Yeah, and that's fair. But like Steven said, this is content. We're just telling you what we think, what we saw, what we know, and what we've heard. And we've put it together and we're giving you what we got. Hey, make sure you guys again like, share, subscribe. My goodness, shout out to Patreon supporters. I appreciate you guys coming through. Was there anything else, Steven? I know you got to hop out of here.
It's all I got. We'll be texting. This was fun. Go Razorbacks. Always pull for the Razorbacks and Taylen Green. So,
yeah,
we'll be texting.
We will be texting. I'm excited for tomorrow, man.
All right, I'll see y'all.
Take it easy.
Okay.
Steven Hamner. All right, he's the man. Glad he could stop by. We got a little bit more here to talk about. If you guys want to call in, I'm gonna send you the link. If anyone wants to call in, I'm gonna give you. If you're in Discord, I'm gonna give you quite a bit of XP. This is gonna be worth 8,000 XP if you want to call in. 8,000 XP if you want to call in. That's a lot. If you've got something you want to say, come join us. Spread the word in Discord. Here's the link in Discord. 8K XP if you want to call in. I'll go ahead and just tap that right there. There you go. 8K, 8,000 XP. If you've got something you want to say. I know John Haas has a new phone. Is John Haas still here if he wants to join? So I think that there's as much a possibility that Arkansas could be really good. And then there's the other side of this, right? Arkansas could be really bad too because of how bad their defense is. I mean, you never know. There's all kinds of things that could happen that, I mean, that's just the way the season goes, right? Like, and I don't want to bring up injuries or anything, but let's be real. What if, and this is why QB2's got to be ready to go, right? This is why QB2 has got to be ready to go. If anything, God forbid, happens, knocking on wood here. So if anything happens, you can't blame me. I'm knocking on wood. All right, you leave me alone. KJ Jackson's got to be ready to step up. And that could really derail your season if he's not ready to go. So, we've got Mr. T-Dub. What is going on, man?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Dude, I'm, living the dream, drinking some sugar-free beverage.
There you go. Well, I just had a couple minutes. I kind of wanted to just, of course, it's always awesome when Steven's on. He's got such, you two together, both of your insights is always awesome. But I just kind of wanted to elaborate on my comment. The last 2 years, I've just not let myself get overhyped because it is the constant letdown. I think we all have that PTSD as fans, but I do see where there could be a success. Like I was saying in the comments, just wanted to elaborate a little bit. I do think our defense is going to struggle this year. We're bringing we're having to get an offensive lineman to play defensive line. So we're already super thin. This is the SEC. It's an in the trenches league. And I mean, it all starts up front. If you can't get pressure, look, Landon Jackson's a great DN, but I mean, I don't think he played to his potential last year. If you cannot get pressure on that quarterback, if you cannot get pressure to stop the run game, it's going to be a struggle. And if we finish where we did in defense last year, it's 5-7. I don't care how great the offense is because SEC is full of high octane offense right now. But if we can get in at least in the top half of defense and be in the top 2 or 3 of scoring and total offense, then I think you're an easy 8-4.
Yeah. So talking about the numbers here really quick, Tim. Arkansas was number 10 in the country in total offense, which is yards per game at almost 460 yards per game, which is trailing right behind the team that Arkansas beat in their bowl game against Texas Tech. That's that's about 8 yards behind Syracuse, who had an explosive offense last year in a much weaker league. Ole Miss had 526 per game, which is a pretty good gap. But Ole Miss was one of the better offenses. But their scoring offense was 44th of the country, scoring just 30 points a game. But then looking at the defense, that's when things start to just fall apart. Their total defense, they're 73rd in the country last year at 376 yards per game. Their scoring defense, which I thought it would be higher, and it's lower than I thought it would be. They gave up, 25 points a game isn't atrocious, but that's still only good enough for 66th in the country. Their pass defense was abysmal. 247 yards per game given up.
Yeah.
And Tim, that puts them at 110th in the country in passing defense. Really bad.
And do you think, honestly, because we have this bad habit, I say we as a program, we have this bad habit of eye candy. So this year they're going, we got it fixed. Our DBs are 4 inches taller. Is that really what's going to fix the defense? It's 4 inches?
Yeah, I've talked about that a lot. Like, if I love that they're bigger. Cool, great. Are they talented enough? Are they good enough? Like, that's what matters. I don't care if you're 5'10". If you can make plays, Jalen Catalon wasn't exactly a monster. He wasn't 6'3", 6'4". Can you make plays? Can you strip the ball? Can you rack up pass breakups? Can you take away a part of the field? And they just haven't had that. They haven't had that since, I would argue, since Catalon. And of course, he could never stay healthy.
Let me ask you this. I mean, you get would you take a 4-star receiver at 5'10", runs like a 4.4, 4.3? Who's going to win over a 6'4" JUCO transfer that runs a 4.6? Who are you going to take winning that battle? Every day I'm taking the smaller guy to catch the pass and be able to move around a guy that's got 5 or 6 inches on him.
Yeah, athleticism kills. Athleticism and skill, football on the field IQ kills. Like, that's, knowing where you're at and what you're doing, knowing your assignment, and then combining that with being a coachable player. I'm getting some weird static. But, just having the sheer talent will always trump everything else. Like, now it's also nice when you got like a 5th-year senior who maybe combines that with a little bit of talent, right? When you can combine the two things. I don't know how much of that they have. I really don't when it comes to the secondary.
The problem I see is the average SEC wide receiver is far more talented.
I think. Uh-oh. Tim, I think we're losing you. Can you hear me? Your mic is sounds like you might be too far away from your Bluetooth or something. I tell you what, I've got Mac on the line. I'm gonna bring Mac up. If you want to, TW, you can call me back when maybe it sounds like your Bluetooth might be messing up or something. I appreciate the call, man, and I appreciate the super chat. Yeah, I think his mic. He had some mic issues there. Mac, what's going on, man?
John Gruden. The only answer is John Gruden.
Okay, Yudwa. Is that really all you're calling to do? Is just scream about John Gruden? Did he just hang up? That was it? Are you serious? Yay! All right, cool. You got your 8,000 XP. Oh man. Was that not Mac or was that Yudwa? That was Yudwa, wasn't it? He was trolling. He's got John's old phone. Yeah, I don't know what happened. T-Dub's mic. That wasn't me. Oh, it wasn't you? Oh, well, thanks for admitting it. I'm going to take that XP away. I don't know who that was then. They're not going to get the XP. Oh, too bad. I might just go ahead and take XP. It was either Mitchell. Yeah, it might have been Mitchell or it might have been Yudwa. But going back to Tim's point, though, I mean, give me. I don't care that you're 6'4", 6'3". Now, I will say, like a guy like Larry Worth, there's potential there. There's a lot of potential with Larry Worth. He's an upperclassman. He's a physical specimen. Fills out the pads quite nicely, and he can play ball. He knows his way around, and he's a good like hybrid player. And he's got that size, the physicality, the speed, the athleticism. We'll see about, does he have that mentality, right, to do it every week? And these guys got to stay healthy in the secondary too. That's the other thing that we haven't talked about. Like I said, it could be just as easily that Arkansas explodes and goes above the expectations as it is just as likely that they could fall flat on their face. I might go the other way, though. I think it's more likely, actually, that they're going to win 7 or more games than 5 or fewer. What's up, Prue? How you doing, man? Assuming this is really you, we may have to do a camera thing where, like, you have to have your camera on to get this XP. I don't know. I don't think Prue's here for the XP, though. He's always got something smart to say. What's up, bro? Oh, no. Are you muted? Pro, I tell you what, man, comment, let me know in the chat if you're able to come back. Getting some rough calls, man. Getting some rough calls. Again, don't forget the XP, the post live chat XP. How many pass attempts does KJ Jackson have? Let me know. Again, that's after the show. That's after the live is finished. If you haven't already, like the cycle in XP is about over. But if you join, any new people that sign up, we're going to give you quite a bit of XP so you can compete, so you can actually wager that XP where you can get some real points. And then if you finish high enough, you have a shot at winning. Well, you will. You'll get some cards. If you finish in the top 3, first place gets an autographed card, former Arkansas player card. Uh-oh, T-Dub's back. You got it working now?
I think so. I think I'm out in the backyard working, so I think I just got out of range of Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, I figured that's probably what it was.
So anyway, yeah, I'm just I was just kind of capping it off by saying the average wide receiver room in the SEC that we're going to be playing is a far more talented than our defensive back room. And so it's always going to be a mixed match. We're playing money ball. We're rolling the dice on JUCO and FCS and, group of 5 DBs coming in for the most part, hoping that we can coach them up. I like our defensive coaching staff. And I think all of our coaches are likable. That's the problem. If they were like, what's his name at South Carolina or, Drinkowitz at Missouri, it'd be easier to not like
Beamer.
them. But yeah, Beamer. If they were Beamer and Drinkowitz, it'd be easier to not like them. But they're all likable guys. The problem is, good personality don't get you 10 wins, just like great personality don't get you invited to the prom. So I mean, at some point, they've got to. This is talking season, and we're going to see a lot of cool things tomorrow. I'm excited for the season to start, but we're not going to know who this team is until they go against Ole Miss. We're not going to know who they are really.
Yeah.
Because Bobby Petrino, second, he's not going to open up the playbook against Arkansas State or Alabama A&M. We're going to see basic packages, probably a lot of what we saw last year. Of anybody I've got confidence on that coaching staff, it is Bobby Petrino. Man, I think personally how I feel. I'm just anything short of a 9-win season. I'm just ready to move on. There are too many young coaches out there that could take this program to the next level, that the fans would get behind, that I think donors would get behind than Sam. He has just been the definition of below mediocre. And he's a great person. For all the people that are going to hate on me, he's a great person. He's just not a great coach. We have had bad offensive line play, I think all but 1 year. So, and then I'll jump off here with this. There's probably people waiting to get on, but kind of a college football in general question. Would you be more excited this season if it were the traditional Power Five conferences from 20 years ago, or if the power conferences merged into two power conferences like the SEC and the Big Ten and all the other major teams went forward, and there were transfer limitations on that setting? Which season would you be more excited for? And I'll bow out to hear your answer.
Okay, that's a good question, because I'm a really big fan of the BCS era. Like, I just am. I feel like that's college football at its best. Arkansas only ever made one BCS bowl, and of course they lost it, but they were competitive. It was a good game despite Arkansas losing. But man, the BCS was fun. I've got mixed feelings about the transfer portal. I mean, obviously, when you get a guy, when you get a Xavier Sori, when you get a Drew Sanders, when you get a Felipe Franks, he helped that offense year one with Kendall Briles so much, right? Like, it's so difficult to fill the two out, like when you're comparing the BCS era and what we have today. Today's football it's not, and I hate to sound old as hell, but it's not what we grew up watching. And things change. Listen, man, I've said before, I get that. I'm most of the time, I think change can be a good thing. I just don't know that what we have right now is unless we need some major changes in college football. And we opened up Pandora's box because eventually it was going to. We knew this was going to come, in the college football heads, the people that were running this whole thing really screwed this all up. They knew this was coming. They just wanted to hand down, they wanted to wait, let the next generation deal with it. Well, now we're dealing with it, and it's made it a mess. But there's potential here with the playoffs. There's some potential. I don't like the opt-outs, but the opt-outs were going to happen even if you had BCS Bowl era. That's just something that actually, if you think about it, that was kind of the first sign when you had a player opt out. That was the first sign of change. That was the first, like, wait a minute, what's going on? These players are opting out of a bowl game? What? You can do that? Like, I remember getting that news and thinking, why would he do that? He's abandoning his team, and now it's normal practice. So if you think about it, that was kind of the catalyst to the change that we're seeing now. Like, when you think about the things that had a huge impact on college football, this guy's opting out. Well, he's a potential top 20 draft pick or potential top 10 draft pick. He doesn't want to get hurt. Oh, okay. And Stephen Hamner and I don't really see eye to eye on this one, actually. Stephen Hamner and I don't see eye to eye on this. I hate opt-outs. I think it's ruining college football. It's ruining the postseason. On the other hand, I get why they want to do it, right? And then after that, I think shortly after that, you had grad transfer rules where, if you're a grad transfer, you're immediately eligible. And then we moved on to the portal and the NIL, and now we've got the playoff expansion. Well, I guess really we could say the playoffs was the first change, right? Because that's what you talk about when you talk about the BCS era or the pre-playoff era. We're talking about the playoffs. I don't know. I'm just going to be real. There's been some decent games in the playoff era, and I think there's potential here. They've just got so much work, and he talked about maybe putting limitations on the transfer portal. Yeah, there need to be major, and they're already talking about shrinking the window down to one window, and I think it was like 10 days or something. Okay. All right, that's a start. One window. But I'm not sure where we're at with that. Anyways, yeah, I could go on and on. Hell, I've talked about it before. I could have a whole damn 2-hour show talking about the changes that need to be made in the portal and everything. Yadwa, I'm not giving you XP. You called in as someone else. I'm not giving you XP, man. That's not how that works. If you're gonna call in, you gotta call in and ask a legitimate question. I think too many people are sleeping on the Hogs. Yeah, and Derek, I think you might be onto something with this. I think there is. The sad thing is I don't know how much of it's going to be reflected in the schedule because of the difficulty of the schedule. You know, like they could actually be, and this has been talked about all off season. You know, you could actually be better, but we may not be able to. We may not see it because you've got to play such a incredibly tough schedule. But to be fair, it's got to be. It's every year that happens, right? You have a tough schedule every year. You start running out of. You start running out of excuses. Personally, I also miss the NIL portal era. Huh? I don't follow. What do you mean? Hogpat says 9 wins. That's okay. I mean, that's to me. Someone said that when I said 7, I think they said no. Maybe it was 8. Someone had said 8 wins. I said 7 and 5, and someone had said that 8 wins in a comment in a video, one of my videos, that was a stretch. 9 might be. I think 9's a little bit of a stretch. Ty hates Gruden. Yeah, I don't hate him, but if you're gonna call in, man, you got to have at least a legit question or a comment. Screaming Gruden is and under a false name, by the way, is not going to do it. Ty, the Ole Miss and Memphis road trips may very well dictate Sam's fate. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It could, yeah. If you, especially, I mean, imagine if you lose, a couple of these games early on in the year. What the hell are you going to do if you lose? If you lose, Arkansas State. Oh my God. I don't think he would get fired walking off the field, but oh my God, you talk about that would be. I mean, he might. I don't know, man. Do you fire a coach who's been here for as long as he has after losing to someone like Arkansas State? Do you just fire him coming off the field? I'm not saying that you. I don't know how I feel about that one way or the other. I don't think Hunter would, though. I don't think he would. I think he would probably what would happen is Hunter would just tell him, like, all right, that's it. You've either got to go on a crazy win streak here. But, I think at that point, if he hasn't already, I think Hunter would draw a line in the sand at that point. Like, no, you cannot finish just 7 and 5. You've got to win 8 games to save your job. Or who knows? After Arkansas State, you got to find a way to win 9, right? But I think Hunter would draw a line in the sand for sure if you lost to Arkansas State. I don't think he would fire him coming off the field because the Arkansas State coaching staff does have respect, but Arkansas State, I don't know what to make of them this year. I don't think they're going to be very good. I like their quarterback. I like they got some continuity there, but yeah, good Lord. Like there might be pressure on that game, and it's a trap game, right? Like Tim likes to point out, and he's right. You got Ole Miss on the 13th. The following weekend, you've got to travel your first road game, and it's against Ole Miss, who's currently ranked 21st in the country. Could be higher by the time you play them. Ranked or not, right? It's Lane Kiffin and all that. So, brutal. But I don't think that happens. I believe they're going to walk into the let's see. Yeah, I think they're going to walk into Notre Dame 3-1. I don't know. I couldn't give you a prediction on scores. I'm not going to do that. I have already been asked that, by the way. What's your score for each game? I'm not doing that, bro. We got to take care of that week to week, right? Hunter drawing a line and saying only if the BOT approves. Yeah. I think if you lose Arkansas State, though, Matt, transplanted text, and I think you're drawing a line in the sand. You have to if you're Hunter. If you lose that game to Arkansas State. Derek Hewitt says redemption on Ole Miss redemption on Ole Miss has to be in Notre Dame walking into the loudest crowd. I'm seeing 5-0 hands down. Hands down, Derek, like it's just settled. It's done. No, we know they can only they're going to start off 5-0. Ty, write it down. Derek, I tell you what, man, here's what I want you to do. If you're going to say something so like matter of fact, and you're saying 5-0, then go lay down a bet. I want to see it. And then screenshot it and show us in Discord that you put money down. If you are that firm, if that is, all you're missing is the exclamation mark. If you're that firm, they're going to start off 5-0. Derek, my God, I hope you're right. Oh my God. I don't even know what I would do with myself if Arkansas started off 5-0, beating Ole Miss at Memphis, and then beating Notre Dame. That's most likely two ranked opponents, maybe even two, who knows, top 12 opponents, top 10, depending on where Ole Miss is at the time. Holy crap. And then you've got to go on the road on the 11th and play Tennessee. You've got game day knocking. Listen, you're going to have game day knocking on your door. I think the 27th, there are a number of really good games. If I remember right, I haven't seen that. I haven't looked at that schedule in a few weeks. But if you're undefeated with Notre Dame coming to town, you're going to be ranked, and I think you've got game day knocking at your door. I mean, two historic programs, even though one has won a hell of a lot more games than the other. One is way more historic than the other. But for the first time, these two teams are meeting in Fayetteville. Notre Dame could be top 3 in the country by the time we play them. Or, I mean, they do have a habit. They did lose a game early on last year. They had no business losing, so who knows? But if they're undefeated and Arkansas is undefeated, you're talking about a top 3 Notre Dame team and a ranked Arkansas team. That's going to be a crazy ass atmosphere if that were to happen. I just don't think it will. I think I might be pushing it a little bit when I say that I think Arkansas is going to go 3-1. I might be pushing it a little bit because there are plenty of people who are telling me I'm wrong about Memphis, that I'm overlooking them. I don't think I am, but yeah. What are the chances we see Green as a Heisman contender? I would say not real high. I don't know. Again, if they have the kind of year, listen, if we're going to have the kind of year where you're surprising everybody and the narrative is changing and all of a sudden Arkansas is ranked and all this, like it's going to have to come down on the shoulders of this offense, which means Taylen Green and Washington, who are not talking enough about this run game either. It's going to come down on their shoulders, but especially in a Petrino offense, it's all about the quarterback. It's all about the quarterback and the receivers, right? So for this offense to flourish in the way that I think it can, despite the challenges with this schedule, then that means Taylen Green's got to be doing something damn special. And Steven brought up something important. What was it? 5 touchdowns. Now that was 5 passing touchdowns against SEC teams. That's got to change. That has got to change. They're going to have to find ways. They got to get better in the red zone. We can't settle for field goals. They've got to be better, more effective. And like he also mentioned, they've got to be able to, establish and maintain these drives, these scoring drives. I'm with you. McFadden could nobody. Yeah. If McFadden could, like, in order for him to be a Heisman, like to even make the trip to New York, you're talking 10-2 minimum and just insane, 4,000 plus total yards of offense, maybe 4,000 passing, few hundred yards rushing, but a bunch of, 40 total touchdowns, something crazy, real high touchdown to interception ratio, like 35 plus passing touchdowns, minimum or single digit interceptions, minimal turnovers, the thing that he's got to work on, which is putting the ball in the damn ground. It's got to do more than even cut in half. It's got to be like, you got to knock those things down by 90%, Taylen. It's just, I think the odds are probably not, they're definitely not on Taylen's side to be a Heisman finalist, but can you be effective enough that you're, that you can maintain drives, score points, and be consistent? Is that what Green can do? I think it is. I think Green can absolutely do these things. Absolutely. Yeah, right there. King Command's right. It would take an RG3 type season and then some. Yeah, I agree. And that also includes the guys around him. Receivers can't be dropping balls. Pass protection's got to be there. Run game's got to be consistent. That is the other thing. Like if you want to have a consistent year week to week, you have to have an established run game that has to be able to maintain its productivity week to week. And you got to stay healthy. Of course, that was the issue last year, right? All right. I know I normally don't stream during the day anymore, but I do appreciate you guys for coming through. Shout out to all the Patreon supporters. Don't forget, we've got some killer cards that are up for grabs for the month of June or August. I keep wanting to say August. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the sponsor Ever had your garage door break at the worst possible time? Yeah, we've been there. That's why Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company, is the go-to company for garage door repair in Little Rock and all of Central Arkansas. They offer same-day emergency service, and they fix everything from busted springs to brand new door installs. These guys show up fast, get the job done right, and they actually stand by their work. So don't wait around. Call Direct Service Overhead today at 501-244-3667 or check them out on directserviceoverhead.com. Your garage door will thank you. So, also, Ty, why I would miss the current era of football? I said I missed pre and I didn't see the pre. I saw I missed the NIL era, and I'm like, wait a minute. All right. Again, we're going to be handing out some XP. It looks like we've had some people join Discord. Steven is back in Discord. Steven, you left and you came back. Got to be careful with that. Got to be careful. We do ban server hoppers, just FYI. We do ban server hoppers, people who hop in and out. So just be careful of that. Not that if you've been in here before and you left, that's fine. You can come back in, but you got to be I mean, you're or am I mistaken? Am I getting him mixed up with someone else? Steven's been in here before. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steven. I'm so excited for football, you guys. This is the last time we're going to talk. Next time you see me, we might do pregame. We might do something pregame in Discord. I'm not really sure. It's not a super early game, but we may do something. I don't know in Discord. I doubt we'll do anything in YouTube, but we'll if we do anything, I'll let you know in Discord. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow's a big day. It's a big day for the 2s and 3s. It's a big day for the newbies to get them further acclimated in the offense and the defense, to understand what it means to be a Razorback, to put on the pads, to wear the Razorback uniform, the jersey, run through the A. Oh, man, I'm so excited for it. It's here. We don't have to wait anymore. It's such a great feeling. I'm looking forward to it. We will have the post-game. It's the best post-game show no matter where you're listening or watching. This is it, baby. Tusk Talk with Ty. Hopefully, and I'm imagining someone's going to get the gold chain tomorrow. That thing right there behind me. One lucky Razorback is going to get that gold chain, or I'm going to wear it on their behalf for being the MVP of the game. Who knows? Maybe it is KJ Jackson. Maybe Jackson gets to play the whole second half, and he just looks incredible, right? Texas loses though. yeah. What? Oh my God, the matchups this weekend. Oh my God, Chef's kiss. We've already had a couple of pretty good games. Who thought South Florida was going to do that to Boise State? Kansas State, Iowa State was pretty entertaining for week 0. But yeah, you've got Texas and Ohio State, Syracuse at Tennessee. I wish that was the other way around. I wish that wasn't well, no, is that a neutral site game? Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's a neutral site, is it not? Let me look. I swear that one was being played in like Atlanta. Yeah. Okay. 11 a.m. Okay. And then there's a bunch of them. A lot of really good games tomorrow. Alabama, Florida State. I don't know if that's going to be a good game. It'll be interesting to see, the current state of affairs for Florida State. We've got LSU, of course, at Clemson. That's the big one. That's a big one. That's a huge game. That is a huge game, man. And then I thought there was no. Okay, all right. Arizona State, who I'm pretty big on. I like Arizona State. They've got Northern Arizona week 1. So for some reason I thought they had a bigger opponent, but they do not. So we've got several really big games this weekend. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to do the post game tomorrow and talk about it with you guys. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing this for a while. I appreciate all the OGs, the new folks who've come along. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button if you're brand new here. We're slowly creeping up on 2 million total views on this channel. Independent channel, small. I'm not a daily streamer. I don't have content every single day. because I'm trying to put stuff together for Patreon, trying to put stuff together, figure things out with Discord, and then along with everything else. So it's tough, being a solo show. But that's why I've got Tim Neal to help me out on the Monday Night Lights live show, which will be live this Monday at 6:30 p.m. Travis Ford, every once in a while, he'll pop in, talk. He's the owner and operator of Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Good guy. He also has helped me make thumbnails. So I've had some help along the way. You guys as well, when you share the content. It's kind of a community. It is a community effort. Not even kind of. It's a community effort. And you guys help keep this this boat on the waters. And I do appreciate it. So tomorrow, we're back, baby. We're back. Football's here. Can't wait. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Maybe tomorrow before. If you're in Discord, we might do a pregame thing. I'm not sure. Just stick around, Come be a part of the community. We have a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a good rest of your Friday.